I was about to leave my local flea market one Saturday empty-handed when I turned my head and noticed an original Xbox sitting on a table. Now looking at it alone was probably enough to give you tetanus, and there wasn't any means of testing it to see if it would even power on. But when the guy's asking price was $5, I thought it was worth the risk. Let's see if we can get it in a better state than when we bought it. First things first, I want to be able to handle this thing without needing to wear gloves. Some disinfecting wipes and a small flathead to get into the grooves made a noticeable improvement to the outside of the unit, and a pair of tweezers helped with the clumps of dust in the ports. Let's take a look inside and see how bad the rust damage is. Yep, that's rust. We'll look at this in a little bit. However, it looks like the motherboard and power supply aren't that bad. A little dirt, but that can easily be cleaned up. Now maybe I should have done a full clean before powering on the unit, but curiosity got the best of me and I wanted to know what I was dealing with here. Looks like it powers on, but I'm assuming that light pattern isn't ideal for this machine. Well, let's continue on. For this plastic casing, some dish soap, water, and a scrubbing brush are taking its toll on the dirt and rust residue. Setting the case pieces next to this fan should help with the dry time. To tackle the rust residue on the metal cage, we're going to use some of this rust remover. Not sponsored. Instructions say to go ahead and brush off what you can with a wire brush, or sandpaper should work too. Then apply the rust remover over the wet metal and let it sit for about 30 or so minutes. While that's going, let's go ahead and rinse off the motherboard and power supply. I ended up going back a second time with dish soap just in case there was some smoke residue or something water alone wouldn't get. Everything that needed drying would sit in front of a whirling fan going at full speed. One of my biggest worries with this unit was the disk drive. Gonna have a hard time playing games without a working optical drive. Looking inside, it doesn't look too bad, especially with a copy of Splinter Cell. I would end up cleaning the lens with 99% isopropyl alcohol and adding some fresh lithium grease to the lens rails. The optical drive seemed functional, so I turned my attention toward the metal cages. The rust remover appeared to do its thing, after a couple rounds, which could be expected according to the instructions on the bottle. When I thought I removed all the rust I could within reason, I applied some metallic colored spray paint left over from another project and applied a couple of coats. The final finish isn't without flaw, but still much better than leaving it as is. Let's proceed by adding the essential components back in to see if all this cleaning made any difference. At first I thought we may have some trouble, but after wiggling the AV cable, it appears we have a video signal and sound. Either the AV port needs a little bit more cleaning or the solder joints need some work. While this Xbox is usable, I think for longevity's sake, I'll try to mod it with a quieter fan and modern storage that can not only store game saves, but the games themselves to play off the SSD. That's it for this video. If you had a similar project to what you saw here, feel free to tell us about it in the comments section. Thanks for watching.